All right.
There we go.
All right,
And we're
guys.
live.
Nice to see you.
Hello.
So today we're talking about, we've got like a couple random topics. We were just like going through our topics list, kind of wondering what we should talk about. And there was nothing really ultra specific. So we kind of chose a couple like random fun ones. And the first one is Kite's crazy slots. So like speculation, looking at the abilities that we already know, uh, stuff like that. So, where do you guys want to start with this? Anything like off the bat that's like really interesting about the ability to you, or
I
yeah, where
think
do we
it's a.
start with this?
I just think it's an overall special conjuration Nen ability. I mean, it's a Nen ability completely based on chance,
Mm-hmm.
from what it seems like. I mean, Kite seems to have no
Yep.
control over of what weapon he gets, and I think this makes it somewhat of a unique Nen ability. Most people, their Nen
Mm-hmm.
ability relies on their own skill, their own imagination, you could say. But with this one, it's complete RNG, it's complete chance, which makes it interesting. It shows what kind of
It
personality Kite
actually,
is.
it's like almost RNG.
It's a
Like
weird,
it's
yeah.
presented as a slot machine, but like Jing says, when Kite really doesn't want to die, he gets this specific number. So it must be like based on like an emotional thing, like based on his emotional state or like
Yeah,
thoughts that it's having.
that's a good
So
point.
it's yeah.
Too bad that we
I
don't
never
know
really
which
thought of
number
it
that
until you
is.
said. I never really thought of it until you said complete RNG, and then I was like, wait, it's not complete RNG. So that's kind of interesting.
My apologies then.
No, I wasn't saying you
No,
did
I
anything
mean,
wrong.
Oh,
Anyway,
so I just wanted to clear this up for anyone who doesn't remember. In the manga and in the anime, Kite has only been shown three different numbers. Number two, which is his scythe. Number three, which is a mace. And number four, which is a carbine. A kind of gun, if you aren't uh, gun knowledgeable or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Uh,
yeah, it looks really weird, like an elongated like
yeah,
how
a
would you call it?
rifle, something.
Like
a stock that's
you
way
know
too
like
long.
how in some anime crows are simplified to like a triangle shape. It looks kind of like that, but stretched out. It's got like the weird little
Oh,
muzzle that looks like the beak of a crow. Anyway, that was just a weird thought I had.
The Hunterpedia
But yeah,
said
it's like a really weird looking
The
gun.
Hunterpedia says that it's a pistol just with an extremely long stock. I mean,
Yeah,
who the hell
yeah.
adds a stock to a pistol? The fuck is wrong with you? As an
that
American, I'm
it
insulted.
seems to be like it seems like a lot of his weapons are really awkward to use, and I feel like that's something that he leans into with his like restriction for his ability. Like he makes
Yeah,
it so annoying that it becomes like a boost.
true.
Like, the shittier the weapon
Like
that he
he
gets, the
makes
more powerful it
What
is, or
if,
something like that.
what if the rifle is like because he had to conjure them, right? Or that's at least
mm,
No, it
what we
is conjuring.
think
No, it is
he's
conjuring.
doing, conjuring them, right?
yeah.
Um, what if the gun, because it's such a weird shape, what if he doesn't really know what guns should look like, or like,
That's that's
yeah,
totally a possibility. Like it might have been something that he started training as a kid because Jing met him as a kid.
Okay, so
So his conception of a
uh,
gun might have
so
been like really
here's one
skewed when he
yeah,
question
started
though.
to
So
imagine that.
Gon, Killua, and Kite were in the NGL. They've seen NGL soldiers with AKs. I mean, Killua, there's a famous picture of Killua with dual wielding AK-47s. I mean, I at
yeah,
that point I'd be
classic.
like, why would he not know what a gun?
Flash that
But
on screen.
he's lived it his entire life. He's been around. Play obviously. He's a hunter. I'm assuming that he has seen a firearm before. Like, come on now.
Right, yeah, yeah. It's a good point.
I mean, yeah, he would know what it looks like now, but like it might just be something that he created when he was young and then like never really changed.
So I don't
But
think Kite developed crazy slots when he was a child or even a teenager. I think he only did this when he met Jing. Let me look up how old he was when he met Jing. Just a sec.
He was pretty young when he met Jing. That's kind of the logic I'm using. Like, oh, he was young when he met Jing, so maybe he learnt it around then. But
Yeah, in the backstory,
I feel
he's
like
like a kid when he meets Jing.
yeah.
At some point in
I
his
was
life,
just gonna say I feel like. Oh, sorry, you go.
oh, sorry. It says here that at some point in his life, he became Jing Freak's disciple, an experience which he believes to have saved him from a die in an alley. Let's see. It doesn't say how old he was, and I don't. There's nothing, but based on from what I've seen, I think he was a young adult. If we're saying like, do we actually know like Kite's age before he was killed by Pito, or is that just speculation?
Um,
I
yeah, I'm not sure about his age when he died. But
Oh,
we know that as an adult, he's very tall, and when we saw him as a kid, he was way shorter, like shorter than an adult. So to be like a young adult and then grow that much, it seems kind of weird. Like you get that growth spurt around like I'd say like 12 to 14, you start to get that growth spurt, I feel.
yeah.
So I don't know, maybe like he was around that age. Like, yeah, that's my speculation at least.
around 20, I guess. 24, maybe. I don't know.
In the flashback or when he died?
When he died.
Huh. I would have guessed older.
Yeah.
I haven't really
But
thought about
Jin
it, but
is
it
like,
just,
wait, do we really know Jin's age? He's like supposed to be 30, I think, from
I'll look that up right
32,
now.
so, something like that. But I don't even know if that's
He is
confirmed
31.
information.
He is 31 right now.
But is that like
damn,
confirmed?
how old is Kite? What the
Kite,
heck?
Kite.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, hold up. So let's see. If they, I think, didn't if so if Jing is 31 right now.
So actually,
Hold
Kite
on,
had to
Kite.
be like
Yeah, it's like
teenager, I imagine, when he met Jin.
no, of course. I
Yeah,
mean,
like 14,
yeah, I
like
know that's
Yeah,
13,
his
14, I'm
age, but I
guessing.
mean, if we do the
cause
quick math here. Okay, let's see. Background. So it will not. It does not say how many years ago. Um,
yeah, there's like
and
no.
it doesn't say like he said. It says when he passed the hunter exam. It didn't actually say which hunter exam, so we can't go off which year. So at this point, it's total
Yeah,
speculation. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's a
there's
shame.
not really. There was actually a pretty great
Oh,
timeline
okay.
thing
So
posted by a Reddit user like a long time ago. I I don't remember where it
Hmm.
was, but it's a good read. I'm gonna try to find the
do
link for it and
do you
post it.
guys
But
Okay.
you guys remember when Kai went to Whale Island to find Jing, right? And he went to see Aerol Gone. I'm sure you guys remember that.
hmm
This was 3 years prior to the 287th Hunter exam, which is the Hunter exam arc essentially. So if this was after his Hunter exam, this was like during his final task of proving to Jing like he's, you know, grown up or whatever you want to call it.
Hmm.
At this point, I think I'm just going down a rabbit hole, which I will not be able to figure out right now, considering that it's only 2 in the morning here. So fun.
so
Need more brain power.
I am gaming.
why did we come to the age question suddenly? Like, what was the?
I don't know,
I don't
man.
It's
remember.
because we were talking about when he conceptualized the gun.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
the
Like,
crazy
oh, maybe he
sauce.
was a
Yeah.
kid.
That good memory. Good memory. You
Yeah,
just say you
I
have a
mean,
bad
yeah.
memory.
So between teenager and adult,
Isn't
I
that
Mm,
just
guess you
yeah,
late
could
I
as
would
say.
say
teenager?
like I would give it like I'd say maybe like 12 to 16 is like a good range.
Okay, yeah. So we can speculate that that's around around that time or later he's like produced his not produced but created his ability.
Mm.
Or like maybe it's possible also that like he learned to conjure just one at a time, and then he continued adding them. It's a very weird
Yeah,
thing
maybe.
because like you need to learn to conjure items. You need to like hallucinate them basically. So
Mm.
or maybe there's something about conjuration that we don't know. Uh, I mean,
Hmm.
yeah, he'd had to have spent with all of the objects in his arsenal. He'd have to have spent many many days and like hours just licking them and looking at them, drawing them. Uh,
Mm.
so also that kind of makes me question, like, did he really do that for every weapon? Like, I mean, it's possible, right? But
I mean, in order to fully have the numbers of 1 through 9, I would imagine that you'd have to have some kind of idea in order to
yeah,
fully create. I mean, in order to conjure something with Nen, you need to actually have like a physical picture of it, I would imagine,
yeah,
from what we've seen. Um,
at least
so
from what Kurapika's
training was,
training,
yeah.
yeah,
I
what he
mean,
explained.
if it's numbers 1 through 9, this means that if, let's say, Kite went through the exact same training as Kurapika, which that is probably not the case, but something rather similar, considering that
Hmm.
they're both conjurers, he would have to have considerable time with each kind of weapon that would be conjured.
Yeah,
So, I mean, he would have to have time spending time with a carbine, with a mace, with a scythe, with
exactly.
whatever else.
Yeah,
So I think he would have some kind of experience with each weapon he has, or
yeah,
potential to
before he
use.
conjured them. What do you guys think about if instead of having to imagine them completely, the restrictions he set are helping him conjure the weapons, if you get what
I
I
was
mean?
considering that.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, maybe it just seems
yeah,
like a very specific thing to rely on. Like it, I'd say it's probably just like training. Like he's had a good amount of training. Like he's a good
yeah.
Nen user. So
And by Gene, yeah. So,
so
or
yeah, I wouldn't
maybe,
doubt that he's done all the hard yards.
yeah, or maybe there's something we don't know about conjuration.
Yeah,
It could
maybe
be,
there's some
could be also
shortcuts.
put like that. And
That is a topic worth thinking about. It's like shortcuts in the Nen system. Like it seems like
yeah,
Tagashi with like some of the Succession War stuff,
hmm,
he's thinking about like different shortcuts to like people gaining Nen, like what's her name? Oito?
hmm,
Lady Oito.
yeah.
Um
Oh,
yeah, him using the giving the ability to her and then as
oh
a
yeah,
result, it forced her Nen nodes open.
oh yeah,
Stuff like
true.
that is we might get more of that in the future, which
I
I'd be
really hope
interested
so.
in.
Yeah, I really want, I really want more stuff like that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like it goes pretty
Yeah,
in depth, and like it's still not limiting the NEN system. It's just adding to it, adding more depth to it.
yeah,
At least the way he's done it so far, which is really nice. Uh,
yeah. We'll
I
see when he gets to explaining Aluka.
oof, yeah, I really want to know that
Yeah,
one. How is he gonna like write himself out of that? I mean, I
yeah.
guess you could
It's
make it
a
with
bit perilous.
restrictions, and they kind of do explain it already, but it's still like, how does it not affect Killua or something like that? That's a bit weird.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah. Interesting.
thinking of Kite's crazy slots, I was thinking, because actually I was talking about this subject also, I think it was yesterday, about these Nen beasts like nature, um, do you think the clown Kite conjured, or like is it conjured? Like is Kite's clown conjured, or is it emitted, or what do you guys think?
I think it's conjured.
Um,
Considering that his entire ability, I don't think it could be anything else. I mean, the weapons come from the clown's mouth, or the slot itself comes from the clown's mouth. It only
Hmm.
I don't
assume.
think Jing would let him get away with using emission over conjuration like his natural slot. Like emission's
Would be
his worst
weird,
slot
right?
and conjuration's his best. So he'd guide him to use conjuration, I'm guessing.
I agree.
So there's Knuckles Nen beasts. I mean, you can like APR. You can call them Nen beasts. I think
Yeah, I agree. They're beasts made from Nen. What else do you want me to call them?
for him it makes sense them to be emitted since he's
I
emitter, right?
The thing with is that
Yeah, that's always
it's a
confused
fair
me.
point, but the thing with I think it depends on what kind of creature you're talking about, like what the ability is. Knuckles APR in Chapter 7 Bankruptcy, or whatever you want to call it, that's an emitter attack. All of Kite's abilities are conjuration. So maybe with Knuckle the APR then Beast is actually from emission, but maybe because Kite is not emission but he's conjuration, it's conjured. That seems like the easiest explanation, but it's only a
Mm,
possibility. I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe it is emission.
Maybe it's
yeah,
just like a result of his condition and restriction on APR. Like he has to show the enemy the interest,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then like it's summoned that way. Maybe I yeah.
That's
It's always confused me. Like what's the difference between like an emitted something and then
yeah,
a conjured something? Like what's the clear difference between those? And yeah,
yeah.
there's a lot of things in Nen where it seems like the line is a bit blurred, or maybe I'm just too stupid to figure it
No,
you
out.
definitely have the
it's
IT brain.
they are really blurred. Like, but yeah, that's what you were saying. The Because I don't think normal people can see the Nen beasts, um,
No,
right? Like
no.
you need an Nen user
Yeah,
to see
true.
the Nen beast. Uh, like the how you call them, the Nen beasts in for the princes, the guardian beasts. They're the same. Normal people can't see them,
I mean,
and
the majority of the
Hmm.
princes don't see their own Nen beasts.
they don't see even their own
Yeah,
Nen
that
beast.
yeah, they literally can't. It's like part
But
of
that's
the
also,
restriction.
yeah, like that's maybe like some sort of effect from the urn ceremony,
Yeah.
so they can't affect it directly that way. But then yeah, because it makes me think, because those are like beasts that are developed from their own like personalities, right?
Right.
Uh,
Though
Mm.
the thing with this is that if we're gonna have an Nen beast go off personality, the clown constantly mocks Kite, which is rather, in my opinion, when I watched it, it was rather funny. But it
yeah,
brings it
but
into
I
the
mean
thing
it.
where I know this might be another rabbit hole, but does Kite hate himself? Does he self-deprecate a lot? If we're going off the personality thing,
Possibly.
is it like you suck, or like he's like, oh, this is bad, like this, like he always says, oh, this is a bad role. I mean, it
Yeah.
could be
I mean,
Kite has low self-esteem.
That's kind of funny. That's interesting.
This is just
yeah.
another rabbit
I
hole,
would
but it's a funny little thing. Now that you mentioned it.
yeah, my gut I think actually this is the new thought. I was thinking I think Jing was just kind of like leaning into like a technique where making parts of your own ability, like really frustrating or annoying, increases the power of it because it's like an
Oh,
effective restriction.
Ooh.
Um, but I thought on top of that was okay. What if like Jing was like trolling him, and like
yeah.
purposefully made his ability like really shitty in a certain way just to like get a laugh? Like
That does
it's a
sound.
funny
I mean,
thought.
as our Jing-san here, do you have any comment here? The
I
spotlight's on
mean,
you.
that would definitely be with Jin-san's teachings.
I
That would
feel
be
like
so.
it's within the realm of possibility for sure.
Indeed, I agree. That would be
Yeah, I
that
think so. I think so.
if Togashi ever confirms this idea, and that actually is the thing. Oh yeah, Togashi, sorry, Jing just wants to bully Kite or just wants to troll him. That would be the most hilarious thing.
That would be really
I
It's
funny. That'd be
definitely
really.
possible
I'd laugh so
because
hard.
yeah,
I
he
would
is such a
I would imagine some
such
of
a
the
troll
hardcore
in a
Kite
way.
fans would screech at the sound of that. Anyway,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
I,
I another thought about Kite's ability.
mhm.
So the nature of his resurrection ability,
Oh
he
yeah.
he like forcefully. I don't want to say forcefully impregnates because the
oh,
second baby might have already been there, but he at least hijacks the the
Yeah,
body of like
it
a
does.
pre-existing
yeah. I
child.
mean, when
Like he just chooses to like take over a child that doesn't
I'll just
exist. Or maybe the logic is in this universe, you don't get your soul like super early in the fetus stage. Like you have to like develop as a baby a bunch or something before you like gain a quote unquote soul.
Yeah.
And then so his like transferal of his soul is just going into like a container that doesn't have one yet. So maybe something like that. But like the thought of he crafts this ability to like hijack another being's body is kind of disturbing in a way.
Wasn't he born after the king?
Yeah, he
yeah.
was.
Yeah. It was like the queen's.
It was when the humans went to help the queen after Cold surrendered to Morel and Nov. Like the humans went to the lair to the ant lair. The queen had its second child, and it just happened to be Kite in
Yeah.
chimera ant form. So, but the thing was that the humans had to get involved because due to Meruem's extreme birthing circumstances, she was left in critical condition. So,
Yeah. And yeah, he killed her basically.
just
Uh,
imagine you're pregnant for however long, your baby just is like this almighty god of a creature, punches your fucking stomach, and everything in your stomach just explodes. That'd be a
ouch.
That was such a great intro, by the
yeah.
way.
It was like
It's so
it was
amazing.
you just need is like damn, this guy means business. I
And I
mean,
mean, yeah.
he def. I'll just say this: Miriam definitely lives up to the name known as the King.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very interesting. There was this part, well, about the soul thing or with the resurrection. Like there was the part where Koala was talking about the soul or something like that when they're in the mansion with Kite. Um, I don't remember the details exactly, but what they were talking about. But maybe that has something to do with something Togashi was thinking about for.
So just to stimulate your memory, Koala was talking about his life before being a Chimera Ant. He was a
Yeah.
hitman. He was
Yes.
he was essentially a killer for hire.
Yeah.
And then as soon as as soon as he died, and he was brought back to life as a chimera, and he came up with his own conclusions of the soul never really
Yeah.
dies; it just moves on. And so what it is that he continues talking about like just with my mere existence, I've just continued this circle of death and tragedy.
Yeah.
And so that could be seen as a valid point where the soul never truly dies; it just moves on to a different vessel. you could say.
Yeah,
So I
something
mean,
like that. Yeah,
it could just be by random luck, or like everyone says, it Kai was able to hijack the
yeah,
unborn fetus of the second royal child of the
with
queen.
Nen after death. Yeah,
Yes. So I think that's
yeah,
Yeah,
a
I
great
think
possibility.
I can't remember the specifics of the conversation that Koala had with Kite. Um, I think he might have been describing his actions as like
A hitman.
something he regrets because it like perpetuates violence
he
within
was.
the
Yeah.
world,
Yeah, he was.
and that and that's something like he regrets. I'm not sure if that specifically like he was saying, I believe that the soul itself never dies; it just moves on. Like I'm a bit fuzzy on the
Yeah,
details,
me,
but he
yeah.
might have just
If I
been,
remember
But
correctly, that's how it
yeah,
went.
but I remember, yeah, at
okay,
least that part, and maybe there's like hint. I don't know. That's super speculative, but but yeah. Anyway, yeah. Otherwise, resurrection. Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
maybe his Nen just stayed in like his body, like dormant into Kite's body, and then when he was fed to the queen,
I
he
mean,
just
there's been.
stayed there in some form. The Nen stayed in some form, and then yeah,
I mean, if we zoom
I
forward
think
through the
it's
Succession War arc, we can take a look at more post-mortem Nen. Isn't there
hmm
like a prince or a queen or something like that who, if they die, they just come back to life or something like that? Like they're resurrected? Or am I just making shit up?
it's Camilla.
Oh
She
yeah.
has
yeah,
a Nen ability where if she fulfills the condition of somebody attacking her while she's in Zetsu, then she dies, and then it spawn she uses Nen after death
yeah. Someone has to kill
as like
her.
a
Yeah,
boost. Yeah. So she goes with like this really drastic kind of first condition to trigger like a powerful ability with a Nen after death, and it's like this big cat that
yeah.
turns you into
Squishes
juice.
you.
Just sits on you.
Sucks him up actually, or something, because they disappear. I think
I see.
it's really weird.
Yeah, it like kneads him in its paws or something into
Yeah,
like liquid
yeah, something
Nen juice.
Sounds delicious.
delicious human.
But
Human.
yeah, I was thinking like just back to the to Kite's ability thing.
hmm
There was like a couple different ways that ability could work.
Yeah,
First, it could be his ability like triggers um, after he dies. So he like rolls the weapon, and then once he dies with that weapon, then his soul immediately goes to like some creature that can rebirth him. So in this case, it would be the queen.
yeah,
Because actually, that would make a lot of sense. Because don't like a lot of the ants, like a part of like the ant reproduction system, like only specific ones can reproduce, and then the rest are like males that spread the seed. Isn't
yeah,
that like a thing?
Yes.
yeah.
I'm a bit fuzzy on how all
I
that
think it
works.
was something like that.
Um, but yeah, the first way that ability could work is that way. So like his soul goes straight to a new host, and then either a like it's such a weird way to say it, but like impregnates the host with a new baby
Yeah,
that is Kite, or B, same, but he finds a fetus that doesn't have a soul yet, and then his soul enters that fetus, and then that's just how he's born. Or three, he finds a new vessel that has a soul, and he hijacks it, so he like kicks it out,
All right, just to
basically like killing that person.
oh,
It's
in Seoul.
Yeah.
now that we're actually thinking about it, this is getting like a lot weirder. Like the moral gray, there's a lot of moral gray area right now.
Yeah,
Like
for
I mean,
sure.
now that we're actually talking about it,
Yeah,
so I mean,
true.
It's definitely
so
devious.
now that I think about it, if the queen needed a male partner, where was the queen's original partner? I mean, we first see her in a cave in the middle, at the near in NGL, essentially in a corner, in a dark corner, eating fish. And then, but she didn't need any
I
males to help reproduce. She just ate them, and then she.
That's a good point.
I don't think.
Like
I don't think
usually you
chimera.
just see it's like a male female
Yeah, but
thing.
I don't think chimera ants need um you need two partners for reproduction. I think they just need a queen. I mean, the queen's only purpose is
Yeah.
to give birth. I mean, you saw them like
Yeah.
the
Yeah, I'm
royal
pretty sure it's
guard.
just a food-based
I
thing.
think the royal guard abandoned. The royal guard did abandon the queen as soon as Meruem was born. Most of the other chimera ants did as well, except for a few. I think it from what I've seen, I think it's a one man show, or should I say a one female chimera ant show when it comes to reproduction.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not sure if it's super clear. I don't remember exactly.
YouTube, please don't demonetize us for talking about reproduction.
We can put education in the tags.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
Exactly. Exactly. Nan education. Nan school.
I guess. What do you guys think? Do you guys think we covered Kite? We covered Kite pretty well, I think.
Yeah, I think we
Um,
covered Crazy
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
I think we
And
did.
we went on
and
a
since we
couple of
were
other
talking
antics.
about Chimera ants, our next subject is Meruem versus the Phantom Troupe.
What a smooth transition. Nice job.
And thank you. And so we were thinking that what would be interesting, like Meruem versus the Phantom Troupe. So which Phantom Troupe would it be? It would be. We thought it would be like the Chimera Ant squad that was attacking the nest to take care of the. It was in Meteor City, right? I think.
Yeah, outside of Meteor City, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, something like that.
Because the residents were like, bruh, these bitches be invading.
Yeah.
Here, I'm just pulling up who was in the Chimera Ant squad, just so we have a reference. So, the people in Meteor City at the time were Phaeton, Bono, Lenov, Shizuku, Finks, Shalnark, and Kaluto. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5. There's 6.
Can you send the link for that?
Yeah, just a moment.
So we can just kind of look at it?
Yeah, of course, just a moment.
Because for this topic, can the Phantom Troupe kill Meruem? It'd be really helpful to be able to just kind of look at the characters,
Yeah.
and then come up with like a strategy based on the characters. All right. All right. Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah, because they would definitely be. They would need a plan if they were to defeat Meruem. I mean.
Yeah, and we want to talk about like a hypothetical with this group. So
Yeah.
Phaeton, Bono, Shizuku, Finks, Shalnak, and Kaluto plus Crollo.
Yeah.
So this is just a hypothetical that includes Crollo.
Yeah, so before we continue, we should talk about which Crollo, because Crollo from York News is different from Crollo at, let's say, the Hisoka fight in Heaven's Arena.
Yeah, let's just say the York New
Okay,
one.
so
Because
no bookmark, no sun and
he,
moon.
he gets all those extra.
Alright.
Well, I mean, he could have been.
I mean, wouldn't he have used those? Why would he not have used bookmark if he had it at the time? with let's say during the fight between him and Silva and Zeno, wouldn't that make his defense even easier?
Oh, yeah, I wasn't talking about then. I was just
Yeah.
speculating like when exactly he could have developed that
Oh, okay. I was
ability.
just about to
So he
say.
couldn't have developed it in the Greed Island, but they get the Exorcist at the end of Greed Island.
Yeah.
So it could be from that point and onwards that he could have been developing the ability. So he could have it in the Chimera Ant situation that we're talking about.
Oh,
Um,
which ability were you talking about?
Bookmark. And
bookmark, and
Bookmark. Oh,
just like considering
right.
like the ones he fought Hisoka with as well, like when he specifically procured those abilities.
It was probably during the time he was escaping Hisoka, I would assume, because he was thinking of a way to defeat Hisoka 100%.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think he developed it during that time. But I mean, for the sake of it, we could add the bookmark to make it a bit easier, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say add the bookmark,
Yeah.
all right.
and then the rest of the stuff that he fought Hisoka with can just be like whatever.
All right then. So,
So, yeah.
but wait, if we're
Um,
going to also take into account with Crow, we also have to think about what are some of the abilities in Bandit's Secret because that will dictate how the battle goes. I mean, Crollo's a really hard person to make hypotheticals with because you have to pinpoint exactly what's in Bandit's Secret. It's not like other characters whose abilities like clear cut, if you know what I
yeah.
mean. Like simply just there and defined. Like I would say Gong is an example of a really easy character to make hypotheticals with because we already know all of his abilities before he lost them. We know of them their power relatively, and we know what they do. I mean,
Yeah,
Crollo
Crollo is like, yeah,
Crollo
you
is
don't know how many
Crollo is a
abilities
well
he has in that book,
Cro-
really.
yeah, Crollo is a huge is a quite a variable. I mean, with obviously he's still very much still a very powerful foe without Bandit Seeker, but if he's going to be fighting Meruem, he's obviously going to be using everything he's got. I mean, it is the Chimera
Yeah.
Ant King himself, so I would imagine he would try to use everything he has up his sleeve.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have to go with what we know, I guess, but
Yeah.
so he would probably use Sun and Moon, I would imagine,
All right.
as one, but is that even enough to like damage Meruem?
Potentially.
It's a good question.
I mean, it does.
Probably not.
I'm
Yeah.
okay, but okay. Let's think about this. So I'm assuming Hisoka during the fight that they had in Heaven's Arena. So this is the only time that he's used Sun and Moon. I think Hisoka was using 10 during that time, and I imagine Hisoka's 10 is rather powerful. Yet it still
Hmm.
damaged him quite a bit. I mean, Meruem's
Yeah.
natural armor can only go so far. It blocks this, but I mean, I don't. He hasn't. Meruem has not actually gone through proper Nen training. It's not like the princes or the bodyguards at um the Succession War. I mean, it's he just naturally developed over time,
Yeah.
and he didn't really have any proper knowledge. He just probably knew the names. I mean, the guy didn't even have an actual hatsu before he died.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that with Sun and Moon, I think we should not eliminate the possibility of it not doing damage. I think it can do damage, but I think it depends on
I think we should. I mean, like, I feel like Netero's Buddha Vista does way more damage than
Sun and Moon. Yeah,
the Sun
I
and
mean,
Moon
fair.
explosions.
You know what? You have a fair
You
point.
think so?
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Yeah, I feel like the raw Nen that Netero
if
has would just
if
like
we,
outweigh those
I mean, if you want
explosions.
to do a side debate and
Cause,
talk about who's more powerful, Old Netero or Crollo, I mean, I would love to discuss it.
cause I was under the
I'd say
impression,
Netero.
cause I was under the impression that they're like more something like physical more than really aura damage. I mean, of course it's aura, but they're like they're like just big metallic hands. I don't know.
The thing with
It's
it,
hard to say what they
Yeah,
really
the
it's
thing
are,
with
kind.
but
I see what you're
the thing with
saying.
it is though is that it's not just the material it's made out of, but it's how fast Netero actually
Right.
swung. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
you're right. Yeah, you're
Because
right. Yeah.
in the anime, like during the anime fight, obviously they had to slow it down greatly in order to actually properly show it. Because if you actually showed it in real time, like it would actually
Yeah,
happen,
yeah,
it
it
would
would be
the fight would be like
instant
1 or 2 minutes
death.
long, 1 to 2 minutes
No, now
long
that you
or
bring
whatever
that
long.
point, yeah, you're right.
Because the 100 type Guadavan Bodhisattva, we're not taking into account that the regardless of the material, the actual speed of it, regardless of the nen behind the actual speed itself, but the speed itself is incredible. So
So
the
yeah,
overall
Meruem is
force.
a fucking beast. Jesus, like
I mean, he is a
uh,
beast. He's an abomination.
he's an abomination. Yeah. I mean, I guess they could try to control him with Shalnark, but like, could they even pierce him?
I think we'd
Like,
have to aim for a vital
Yeah,
spot, probably like his face, because
yeah.
his entire body is armor. Like that's his skin is just straight up armor. So the only place,
yeah.
I mean, his head is a fucking helmet on it. Like he's the guy that wears the bicycle
He just
helmet to
needs to
school.
use
All right.
like 10 or like Ken or like even 10, and then his defenses are just like so incredible. It's like how the heck do you even defeat that?
With the
So
poor man's rose, that's what you
I'm
do.
looking at the cast. Like Phaeton's sword snapped even when he used Ko on it
Yeah, I think what it
on the
is.
tip.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So I would think this the only way that Phaeton would actually do anything in this battle would be using Pain Packer. The problem with it is
Yeah.
that in order to get a powerful enough explosion to kill Mariam or even to do a lot of damage, Phaeton will not be able to endure enough punishment before his body gives out.
I
Because
think I think
the
he
more
would
pain he's
just
taken,
die before
yeah,
like
the
Yeah.
more pain he's taken, the stronger the Pain Packer. I mean, this has been proven. So I mean,
Okay. Okay. So
if Phaeton was able to
let's
endure,
assume like yeah, in a situation where Phaeton gets like absolutely just rolled, like on the verge of death,
right.
near
and
death
he's
experience.
able to like pull off a pain packer,
Oh yeah.
um,
But what?
Crollo might be able to keep him alive by using his teleport ability that he used on Nobunaga. Remember when Nobu got really angry at
Oh
Hisoka
yeah.
in the den, and he like ran at him, and then
So
Crollo
Yeah.
used his this weird teleport ability.
That's a
He
good
could like
one.
teleport Phaeton around to keep him alive, assuming
okay.
Meruem doesn't like figure out that that's what's happening.
No,
Hmm.
And then
Mariam is
like
extremely
the
intelligent
the
though. That's the problem.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But like in a perfect situation where like they could keep Phaeton alive after sustaining massive
Right.
damage,
Yeah.
and then use Pain Packer, it'd like kill them all, but it might like hurt the king enough. But
What?
it's so
Yeah.
much stacked against the
Okay,
troop,
so
even like all of them there.
Or what if it was Nen after death, Pain Packer?
no, I don't think it's a post-mortem Hatsu. I don't think so.
Well, maybe why
I
not?
I
mean,
mean, it's a
But
maybe
possibility.
some characters.
Okay, so I would actually like to bring someone up, and that's Finks. Do you guys remember what Finks can do?
Uh-huh.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
he
the
cranks his
wind up
arm.
punch.
He cranks his arm, and every time he cranks it, it increases his punch. So think about this, right? Let's say that in this place, it's like an enclosed space. What if there was a way where Finks, let's say there was no restriction in like how many times you can do it, and by that I mean, let's say he has an insane amount of aura that we just don't know about. It's just a hypothetical. Realistically, Finks can, if he has enough time and he's not killed in the process, he can one-shot Meru.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
it just depends on like where it caps out. Like his whole aura pool, maybe,
Like so
and then
I
like you just have to compare the numbers.
from what I've discussed about this subject, basically Finks's cap for this ability is when he just runs out of aura and gets exhausted, right? He's Ren
Mm.
endurance basically. how much time is he able to hold his aura? That's the amount of time he can win his arm, before just falling on the ground exhausted. Because
That's
he
that's an interesting topic by the way. I
yeah.
just want to bring something up. So when you use an ability, for instance, or like when you let's say Finks rolls his arm once, he
Mm-hmm.
inputs an amount of aura, and then
Yeah.
that like uh, translates to his ability activating.
Mm-hmm.
He does it again. Is he inputting the same amount of aura as he did as the first one?
Right.
And then and then he gets like a boost to the power of his ability. Is that boost drawing from his initial aura pool, or is it just like multiplying what's already there? So like if you multiplied it a bunch of times, would it keep drawing from your own aura pool like exponentially, or does it just like or does the restriction like take that burden?
Yeah, it's a good
Do you
question.
kind of get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like if he rolled his arm like 50 times, like exponentially, like the possibility of his ability being super powerful is like crazy. But like if it draws from your own aura pool, you might just run out really quickly. Like, but if it lies on like the restriction, like tanking that, and it doesn't like draw exponential the same amount exponentially
Yeah.
from your aura pool, it like could be a possibility that he could, just like roll his arm a bunch and then have something powerful enough.
Yeah, I guess we don't really know um,
Yeah.
which one. Both are just as possible. I mean, if we look at Gon's ability, he has to put a
Yeah,
certain amount of aura in it.
I think we might get the answer from that
Mm,
fight that he has with Knuckle, and
yeah,
Knuckle's explaining like all the aura amounts.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure it just draws from your aura pool. Like the
yeah,
restrictions make it stronger, but it still draws from the aura pool.
yeah. It would
So
make
even
sense.
Finks,
Yeah,
like if that's the case, Finks might not be able to defeat him.
he would run out of aura. Yeah, faster than you
Yeah.
think, actually, if that's the case.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe he probably has a limit of turns in that case,
Mm.
and so maybe his ability isn't all that powerful, you know?
Yeah, it's like an all or nothing kind of ability.
Yeah, but
Mm.
yeah, if he was, let's say, if he used his max, we don't really know how powerful his maxed out punch is, but we can assume he had still a way to go. So I guess we could
You could
say, I don't know, at least double the power of what he did. I guess if he really
yeah,
put
maybe around
everything
that.
on his punch. It,
I would a
it's just
strategy
yes,
that could work
yeah,
could be like uh Crawler using that teleportation ability to teleport Finks around and keep him safe while he
yeah,
charges up to get a punch in. Um, Still, it'd be like really easy to defend against that because you'd have like the knowledge that that's about to happen.
yeah. And I mean,
Um,
yeah,
and in the case that he hits it, he might like damage Meruem enough where like he has like an exposed area that could get pinned by Shalnark, but like even then, using Nen over that area, it's so easy to like deflect penetration attacks. Like we saw, Phaeton trying to use code to stab into that the Queen
hmm
Crocodile lady. It's so easy to defend against attacks like that. So it even that might not even work. So yeah, pretty tough.
yeah, pretty tough. I think the biggest problem would be to match Merem's speed
Yep.
because he is insanely fast. Because he's able to match up to Neteros like speed with Guanjin
Yeah.
Bodhisattva, like which is
Yeah, Phaeton's pretty fast. Chrollo
yeah,
seems pretty fast.
is it? But that was like speed of sound, basically. I think,
Yeah, Meruem's just so
which
ridiculously
is just
fast.
insane. Um, and even like Kilua, he is not. Wait, what's the speed of sound? Is it like 400 kilometers per hour or something?
Dude, I don't know. I'm not really educated with that kind of thing.
I have to check speed of sound. Uh,
But yeah, I think the answer is like a pretty resounding like 99.9%
oh,
Meruem
okay.
just like wipes them out.
Here it is. It's 340 meters per second. So, um,
Oh, damn. Yeah, so freaking fast.
so it's probably in the kilometer class. Let's see. Let me convert that. Yeah, it's 1,200 kilometers per hour. So it's
Wow.
basically the speed of a fighter jet at top speed or something
Why are
like
you
that.
going so freaking fast? Yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, basically the Phantom Troop just freaking dies.
They would be mincemeat in no time.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah, well,
if they had
you
yeah, the
finish.
only way like Netero was able to even get close to Meruem was because he was able to speak with him and like
Yep.
talk with him. So the Phantom Troop they would have to find a way to speak with Meruem and be able to find something in his mind that would just put him down. Oh, no,
So
no
I
worries.
think we should probably just wrap up there.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, with that, if anybody's still here after all that crazy discussion, thanks for sticking by. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you. Leave any comments if you have any thoughts about the fight, Kite's ability. We'd love to read them. All of that's really interesting. And yeah, catch you in the next one.
Bye.